Well, Tucker Carlson calls out Ben Shapiro. And it's funny, too, because some of the old videos of Ben Shapiro saying that we should stay out of the fight in Israel are now resurfacing and being put side by side videos of current day Ben Shapiro saying that we need to go help out Israel and Israel needs our support and all that. Honestly, though, I just feel like Tucker is speaking for most Americans at this point, because I feel like most Americans are just like, why do we keep meddling in problems that are halfway around the world that don't even have anything to do with us, when there's more than enough problems right here in our own backyard that we could be fixing? But we just ignore the problems that we have right here in our own backyard in favor of trying to go mess with somebody else's problem halfway around the world. You know, we just pulled out of Afghanistan, and what a great failure that was. How many billions of dollars did we spend on that war? 20 years. How many human lives were lost? And for what? For what? All so we could pull out and leave $83 billion of military equipment for the terrorists that we spent 20 years fighting to take. Like now they have fucking helicopters and tanks and goddamn red dots and EOTechs and all kinds of shit. Like, if you expect us, the American people, to get on board with another war halfway around the fucking world, then you need to first show us how the last one was productive in any way whatsoever. Because the way I see it, and I feel like the way a lot of Americans see it, is that we keep getting involved in these wars, and we're supposed to bring, freedom and prosperity to the region. But what actually ends up happening? Oh, the region ends up in turmoil for years, decades to come. Like, if we can't even go over there and accomplish the goal that we set out to accomplish, why do we keep going over there? If we keep failing, maybe we should stop trying. Jordan Peterson always taught me something that was very important, and that was set your own house in order before you criticize the world. And we as America, our house is not in order. We are very out of order currently. We have a lot of issues we need to fix here first. But instead, we put our focus on everyone else in the world and tell them how they're not doing things right. I used to watch Ben Shapiro. I liked Ben Shapiro a lot more than I do now, but ever since he started pushing the jab, I stopped watching him. I never could get on board with that. I was like, it's fine if you want to do it, Ben, but I really didn't like how much he tried to push it onto other people. So yeah, I haven't really been watching a lot of Ben Shapiro's recent content, but I have seen the clips from it, and yeah, I don't like what he's been saying about Israel. It's pretty obvious where his loyalties lie, not with America. I mean, obviously he does have some loyalties with America, but he clearly places Israel above America in his list of priorities. And that's fine. It's understandable. He's got family over there, but the issue I have, and I feel like the issue most Americans have, is why do you keep promoting it as if this issue is what most Americans care about? No, we care about America. This is our country. This is our home. Why would we care about someone else's country and home more than our own? That doesn't make any sense. Funny enough, Candace Owens is trying to chip in and get Tucker and Ben to debate it out on her show. Just what we need. A highly emotional pregnant woman. I don't even know if she's currently pregnant, but she was recently pregnant. A highly emotional mother is exactly what we need, discussing the issue of whether we should go to war or not. Yes, this sounds like a good idea, everyone. We should put the decision of whether we go to war or not in the hands of a highly emotional woman. But while we're on the topic of Candace Owens, I heard that Pearl Davis was invited onto Candace's podcast to debate why men don't want to get married anymore. And I just wanted to point out that this is where we are at this point in this country. Like, this is a man's issue as to why men don't want to get married anymore. And who do we have speaking about it? Oh, that's right. 2 women. Us men aren't even part of the freaking conversation anymore. Meanwhile, we're discussing what is supposed to be our problem. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Pearl, and I support a lot of what she says. But once again, they've heard it from the horse's mouth 1,000 or 1,000,000 times, and they don't believe it. Why Why does it take a woman speaking to another woman for a woman to finally understand what us men have been saying for thousands of years? And I gotta say, though, that is my biggest bone to pick with the Daily Wire crew is how much they blindly forced marriage onto the younger generations without properly informing them of the risks or consequences that they could be getting themselves involved into. You know, the Daily Wire crew was probably part of the reason I proposed to my ex-fiance, even though in my heart I knew this was a terrible fucking idea. And yeah, look how that turned out. She was lying to me and filming porn behind my back the whole fucking time. It wasn't until I found her Pornhub page that I was able to actually confront her about it and be like, what the fuck is this? Now, granted, at least everything fell apart before the marriage happened, but, you know, I never would have been in that situation most likely if I didn't have my girlfriend talking in my ear about marriage, Ben Shapiro talking in my ear about marriage, fucking Matt Walsh and Michael Knowles and Andrew Clavin all talking in my ears about marriage, telling me, oh, you need to do the manly thing and just man up and just marry her and be a good man about it. Like, no, no. I need a good woman before I commit to her. I can't find any. Where the hell are they, guys? Yeah, you guys all found your wives 10 years ago. It was very fucking different dating market 10 years ago compared to how it is now. Things are not the same. These women these days are out of control. Like, I am thoroughly convinced that it's going to be like 20 years before anyone from my generation actually gets married, because that's how long it's going to take for these younger generations of women to figure out that no, being a giant slut is actually a terrible idea. And I don't want to do this. I want to actually get married one day and not be miserable, a Catwoman for the rest of my life. So I'm not going to go be a giant slut and actually go get a husband before I turn 30. Gotta say, though, I am highly excited to see Pearl Davis talk some shit onto Candace Owens and finally put Candace in her fucking place about some of this shit that she's been talking about all this time. I hope Candace actually, you know, learns from it instead of does the typical Candace thing and just attacks with her emotions. But yeah, that's the news for today, guys. If you want to see more, subscribe,